Hi everyone. Today I want to show you Wholesale's analytics page. Analytics has been one of my favorite things to work on within Wholesale because it takes all of the information that you and your team put into the system, all of your inventory information, all of the devices, all of the sales, all of the purchases, and it distills that information down to a couple of key graphs and tables that allow you to make really good business decisions off of your current data, the inventory that you have in your office, and seeing that from a really clean and simple angle, and the long-term decisions that you want to make for the company based off of the history of the data that you've entered over however long you've been using the system. That power to make really good decisions comes from these short-term and long-term sets of data, and Wholesale organizes all of your information into one place so you can do that. We've been using these pages since we created them and making them better over time to solve problems in our business, and they've really helped. So I'm excited to show them to you. So here we are at the analytics dashboard in Wholesale, and you can see that the main page that we're on is the financial page. We have some key metrics up here at the top, 4 key metrics, and then a history of our financial sales and the costs. So we've got revenue and spend right here. This is based on a date picker, so you can choose how long of a range you want, and it's set automatically to this year. So we're looking at data from 2018. So what we can see right from a glance is that in 2018 so far we've done a little over 400,000 in revenue. Of that 400,000, we've made 105,000 in gross profit, and we can hover over here to see what this means. So the gross profit is the total sales minus the device cost within a given period. So what we sold the devices for on our orders minus what we paid for the devices on our purchase orders. Our gross margin, that percentage, is 25.56, so we're looking pretty healthy for a wholesale business. And our profit per device on average is $42.42. We can see that over the last, we're looking at pretty much January 2nd, some sales data there, all the way to February 25th. And we can see on a day-to-day basis what our sales and costs for those sales were. So that's the financial snapshot. We can hop over to inventory, and we can see 2 different kinds of inventory. We can see our inventory that we have on hand and in a time range. On hand lets us decide what is our biggest problem for the sales pipe. So we come in and look at this data every single day to see what things do we want to sell. And so you can see here in the device leaderboard, we're holding Apple iPhone 7. We've got 94 of them in our office, and we've got $25,000 worth. This is the value that we paid for them. The average age of these phones is 32 days. We've been holding on to some Galaxy S6 Edges for a little while. Those are much older. They're 88 days old, but luckily we only have $13,000 worth of them. It's not as significant of a problem. And you can see that most of the value of this inventory that we have is in the top 10 or 15 things here, and then it really trails off to being less than $1,000 worth of inventory in any category. But you can come in here and see what is the device that we are holding the most of and the most value of, and how long we've been holding it. The key metrics for on-hand inventory is the value that we paid, so we're holding a little over $100,000 worth of that inventory. What do we have that inventory listed at? So right now we're trying to generate a $40,000 gross profit on the $105,000 worth of inventory we have, so it's listed at $145,000. We have 855 devices, and the average age of our total inventory in the office is 57 days. We're showing you data here that's from an old import, so thankfully our data actually isn't, our inventory is not actually 57 days old. If that was that old, I'd be getting concerned. We can look at switching from on-hand here to in a time range. We can see a couple of things. We can see, based on when you set this time range, what the purchase value of your inventory for that period was. So far this year we've bought $291, almost $292,000 worth of inventory, and we've done just over 2,500 devices, 2,553. You can also see a check-in history showing you how many devices were checked into Wholesale on a particular day over time. The orders page shows us a couple basic details about orders, how many orders we've created within a period, and the average value of that order. And kind of like check-in history, you get a snapshot of how many orders per day, so you can see how your sales are trending in terms of how many orders are being created. And then two of my favorite analytics pages are the customer and supplier leaderboards. These are pages that have really helped us make long-term decisions about who to work with on both the customer side, who we're selling phones to, and the supplier side, who we're buying them from. So when we show you these leaderboards, what we do is we organize by default, we sort the table by profit. So this year, this company that we're working with, Okuneva, Rob, and more, we have done $44,890 worth of sales, and on that we have made $15,488. So we've sold phones to this person, they're a customer, and our average margin with them so far for the year is 34.5%, which is really strong. We could also organize this by total sales and get a breakdown that way, or organize it by margin. I have a feeling if we organize it by margin, we're going to see people that we've sold things to on eBay and Amazon and e-commerce where we've made a really, really strong margin, but we haven't done a whole lot of business with that one particular person. So we like organizing this by profit so we can see our biggest wholesale customers and where they sit in the spectrum of things. If we know a customer is kind of difficult to deal with and actually takes a lot of time to develop deals with, and they're pretty low on this chart, we get the sense early on and can kind of deal with the problem earlier than if we didn't have that data, that the customer is probably not worth what they're costing us in time. However, if there's a customer at the top of this list that needs a little bit more hand-holding, maybe we're more willing to do that hand-holding because they're such a valuable customer, they make us a lot of money. On the supplier side, you have kind of the same thing. So this is unique though. You can see who you're buying phones from or devices of any kind. How are they, like how good of a supplier are they to your business? So we can see this Nader Funk at the top of the list. We've purchased almost $100,000 worth of inventory from so far this year. We haven't sold 40 grand worth of it, so we're still holding on to some of it. But we have sold $80,000. Our total sales for that customer is $80,000. So we've sold $80,000 worth of stuff. On that stuff, we've made $19,000, which is a 24.81% profit margin. Remember, these are people who we've bought phones from. So this is a specific company that we've sourced devices from. We're holding on to some of their inventory still, $40,000 worth, but we've done a total of $80,000 in sales and made almost $20,000 on this one particular customer. Now, we can organize it by profit and see we actually have Heinz Ernzer, another company who we've generated even more profit on. I don't know what it was organized by originally, perhaps margin, but or no, actually, our margin's stronger on them. So maybe it was total purchase value because we were organizing by that 99,000. But Heinz Ernzer, we've only purchased $58,000, almost $59,000 worth of inventory. We're holding on to some of it still, but we've sold $77,000 in sales worth, and we've made almost 32 grand. So this is a supplier that is very, very key to our business, and we want to continue doing business with them. They're kicking butt for us. On the contrary, at one point in time, we had a supplier we were purchasing through an e-commerce site, like where you bid on customers' devices, and they kind of like a flip swap or a Flipsy or a Glide. So we were working with one of these companies, and we noticed that we were spending a tremendous amount of time talking back and forth and doing customer service with the customers that were selling us one phone at a time, and they were extremely low on this list of suppliers. So we were spending a ton of time trying to set up deals and get phones from that channel, but when it really came down to the wire, we weren't making very much money on them. So based on that, we chose to drop them as a supplier really early on, and it saved us a ton of time to focus on suppliers like this. So this is some of the power that you get in these analytics pages by having all of your inventory information in one system. I hope you like this demo, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. If you're interested in these analytics data for your business, visit us online at www.wholesale.io or email us at hello@wholesale.io. Both of those links will be in this video description. Thanks.